Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion. And yes, I'm recording another video rather than writing for Thursday's post. And it's intentional tonight, y'all, because I was planning on writing. I was going to do my music post like I usually do for Thursdays. But then I came across something in one of the books that I read each and every day. And it felt too significant to ignore because it connects to something I already talked about in the previous video that I recorded on Wednesday. So I trust that when those synchronicities, when those unusual commonalities, happenstances, you might call them, arrive, pay attention, pay attention. And I'll tell you about that here in just a moment. Let's begin, though, as we always begin, by recognizing, realizing, affirming, leaning into, and celebrating that we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. Now, you may recall earlier today, or yesterday, it's after midnight now, on Wednesday, let's say, I recorded a video talking about something that I witnessed on a Substack Live. And in case you missed it, it was a group of, I presume, students, but people connected to Liberty University, which is a evangelical, Jerry Falwell created university, putting up a golden statue of T-Rump holding a coin, like a Doge coin or some kind of a cryptocurrency, right? I said it was a Bitcoin. I don't think it was. I know there's all kinds of names. And originally, when this was going live, people thought, the commentators who were doing the live thought it might be a protest against Trump. But then it turns out when they looked at the hashtag, it was a tribute for and to T-Rump. And the commentators rightly noted that these are Christians putting up a golden calf, a statue, an idol to a human that they, as cult members, y'all, because that's what we're seeing, worship. Now, they will say that they don't worship. They do in so many different ways. And we just see that day in and day out. So what did I read? Well, this is the book right here. It is a wonderful book about one of the greatest saints of this hemisphere. He was a Salvadoran and also a true martyr. You know, we're throwing the name martyr around a lot right now. You know what I'm talking about. Oscar Romero, Saint Oscar Romero, was murdered in 1980, March 24th, while saying Mass. And he was murdered because he said the words that are written in this book. These are from his speeches. These are from his radio broadcasts. He was very, very engaged. And if you don't know Romero's story, I highly recommend that you find the movie, the film Romero. I'm going to try to put a link either to the film or to the trailer. It is an incredible film. I used to show it to my religion classes, my theology classes, when I taught in a Catholic high school. Interestingly enough, and tragically, it was Raul Julia who embodied Romero, who died not long after filming it. So in many ways, I think it was his last great work. Check it out, y'all, if you don't know the story. And even if you do, seeing it now is vital, because it looks at the rise of fascism and it shows what true followers of Christ do in moments like this. So here's what I read. And again, when I read this in the context of what I recorded on Wednesday, what I witnessed on Wednesday, this came to mind. It was said by Romero on September 11th, 1977. He said, "What else is wealth when you do not take God into account? It is a golden idol, a golden calf. They adore it, bow down before it, and make sacrifices to it. What enormous sacrifices are made out of idolatry of money? Not just sacrifices, but injustices. People are paid to kill. People are paid to sin, and they sell themselves. Everything is commercialized. Everything is licit for money. There's a lot to unpack in there, y'all, but this is what a prophet is about. This is what a person who is speaking truth, the truth of the gospel. And this is one thing, y'all, I think we need to be clear about this, that these people running around who call themselves Christians are not following the gospel of Christ, period. No matter what they might say, we can call ourselves anything we want. I can call myself an elephant. It's not going to make me an elephant. An elephant has certain qualities and characteristics, a way it acts, a way it looks, a way it behaves. And Jesus himself was crystal clear to his followers. He said this, look it up. It's in the Last Supper Discourse in the book of John, Gospel of John. He says, they will know you are my followers by how much you love each other, love one another. And he goes on to be clear, and especially we see in Matthew's gospel in the Sermon on the Mount, love your enemies, right? Turn the other cheek, golden rule, all of those things, that it is clear that Jesus is not just talking about a little cult, you just love each other and, it's all nice and all of that. Not at all. Not at all. What he is talking about crystal clearly, and what runs through all of Jesus's ministry, what runs through all of the Gospels, what runs through all of the New Testament, the Christian Testament, is that God is on the side of the poor. God is love. God is love. And love is patient, love is kind, empathetic, generous, and so much more. And when you are a Christian, I call them hippo-Christians, air quote Christians, chinos, Christian in name only, right? Whatever you want to call them. When you are a Christian and you are not loving, when you are cruel, when you are not compassionate or empathetic, when you are criticizing, saying that empathy is wrong and sinful. And there's book titles out there that said that say that, right? When you are saying those things, you are not following Christ, no matter what you say. And y'all, I'm sick of this. I'm a person who has, through my 55 years, been on a spiritual journey. And as I'm writing in my memoir that is going to come out at some point, I kind of have to really get serious about writing it. But my journey has been through mainline denominations. My journey has been Catholic twice, born, left, returned, and left again, right? I mean, it has been quite a journey. And hopefully, from the videos that I make and the writing that I do, is I know my faith. I know my Bible. I was in seminary. I was in the process of ordination in the United Methodist Church. All of that is to say, I can no longer call myself a Christian. I believe the name of that religion has been so soiled and so twisted and so blasphemed, I'll use that word, that I call myself, as you've probably heard, a follower, a planetary pilgrim on the way of Christ. And again, those two pieces are related. We're all planetary pilgrims, y'all. We are all earthlings. We are all on this planet together. And we all have a path. What do we follow? What is our way? Is our way of greed? Is our way of money? Is our way of power for power's sake? Is our way of violence? Is our way of cruelty? Or is it the way of Christ? Is it the way of the Buddha? Is it the way of Muhammad and Islam, right? Is it the way of Moses and the Jewish people and their faith? What is the way? The way of the 12 steps, the way of secular humanism, the way of the Jedi. I don't care. As long as the way we are following is about justice, is about peace, and ultimately about love. because God is love, y'all. And whoever loves knows God. Whoever says they love, but whoever says that they know God, but does not love is a liar. It's right there in the first letter of John, chapter 4, I believe. All right, y'all, I was actually going to have more to say about something else I read today, but I'll save that. Maybe get to that on another video. I do, though, want to just close with one final thing I needed to check on, right? I put this in my video on Thursday about what happened after the Israelites made the golden calf. And I said a couple of things, and I wanted just to double check to make sure that I was correct. And here is my copy of the Bible that I actually had. This was a gift to me when I was in seminary, and I was preaching from time to time. It's a few years now. Bible is a little bit worn, but here is Exodus chapter 32. I'm not going to read all of it. You can look it up for sure. But it says that Aaron, who is listed as Moses' brother, is the one who made the golden calf. And he says, this is quoting Aaron, he says, "Tomorrow shall be a festival to the Lord, the calf that they have made." They're calling it now the Lord. "They rose early the next day and offered burnt offerings and brought sacrifices of well-being. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to revel." Meanwhile, Moses is up on Mount Sinai, and it says the next verse, "The Lord said to Moses, 'Go down at once. Your people whom you have brought out of the land have acted perversely.'" And God goes on to judge them. Moses tries to calm God's wrath, and instead, God says, "No, you need to do this." Verse 15, "Moses turned and went down with the covenants," and it says this, verse 19, "As soon as Moses came near the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, Moses' anger burnt hot, and he threw the tablets from his hands and broke them at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf that they had made, burned it with fire, ground it to powder, scattered it on the water, and made the Israelites drink it." It gets worse, y'all. This is the part I had forgotten. And again, you can look this up. The video is going long. It's getting late, so I'm going to end here very soon. But when Moses saw that the people were running wild, for Aaron had let them run wild to the derision of their enemies, Moses calls one of the tribes together. It's the tribe of Levi, the sons of Levi. He commands them to kill the others who had sinned. And then it says this, verse 28. "The sons of Levi did as Moses commanded, and about 3,000 of the people fell on that day." And then the very last verse, if to underscore verse 35, says, "Then the Lord sent a plague on the people because they made the calf, the one that Aaron made." So that's what happens in the Old Testament, that these hippo-Christians seem to hold up even over the Christian scripture. There's a whole lot more that I can say about the image of God that is portrayed in the Hebrew Bible, the what I just read and elsewhere. That could be for another video sometime. But those people putting that statue, that golden trump up, they know this. And they know this. They just don't see themselves in it. And that is blindness, that is sin, and that is wrong. All right, y'all, I'm pooped. And I know tomorrow will bring who knows what. You know, I didn't even get to talk here about the absolute irony of, on Constitution Day, banning, shunning, firing Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, that's a whole other thing, but it all connects, y'all. It all connects. All right, let's close, as we often do here, with the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Please say it with me if you know it. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thy will, not ours, be done. All right, thanks, y'all. It got a little long. Appreciate your sticking with me. Blessing and good. Be bold. Be well.